Okay, so far everything we've been doing in the previous chapter has been pretty straightforward text and images. Now we want to learn how to style some of these things. It used to be that you would style HTML tags directly in the HTML. Back in the bad old days, we would go in somewhere, for example, let's add a home link onto our index page. So make sure you have your My Website folder open. If you don't have it open, just as a reminder, go to Open Folder. Inside of brackets, navigate to the My Website folder you've created to where you can see the images and pages folders we've created in the previous module. Select folder, and this will make sure that you see these two folders in your index page. Let's go ahead and add a home link here before resume. Home. Change this to index.html, and since this is its own page, I'm linking to this page from this page. So I just put itself right there. Save that. Refresh. Let's say I want to bold home because that's the page we're currently on. What I would do is come in here inside the A or outside the A actually. It doesn't matter because both the A tag and this B tag I'm about to use are both what we call inline tags, and one of the rules is inline tags can be nested inside of each other. Anyway, you may not need to know that for your version of this class, but let me save this and show you. Now home is bolded. Okay, this B tag is deprecated. Well, it's still used very commonly, but we no longer like to put style tags or use style tags directly in the HTML. We've progressed into cascading style sheets or CSS, which is a much better way to standardize our styles and prevent mistakes from happening. So let's actually go to our resume page and start styling that one. I'm going to make this page look really ugly today as we practice styles, but when we're done, it's probably worth it to you to take the time to adjust the styles to look nice the way you want. For starters, let's adjust the H1 tag. Okay, I think this is a little too big and bold. I don't like Times New Roman on the web. Typically on the web we use a sans serif font. Sans or san means no, and serif means little curlies on the edges of all of our letters. So Times New Roman is a serif font. Let's change the entire body to use something sans serif. So for now, although we're going to change this later, I want you to go inside your head tag and make another tag called style. Okay, close it. Inside of style, this is where we're going to start writing Css code, which is definitely a different language from HTML, but they're used together and often, well, they're integrated, and so they're often viewed as the same thing, but they're really two different languages. So what I want you to do is write the word body and then open a curly brace, and it should automatically close it for you. So the format we're using, notice there's no greater than less than signs around it. We simply use the name of the HTML tag that we want to add a style to. Now the body tag is right here. What's inside the body tag? Everything, right? Everything that is shown in the body is inside the body tag. So the style attributes that I list right here are going to apply to everything inside the body. For example, font family, hit enter, and notice it adds a colon that's not a semicolon, space, and it gives us a few options. I'm going to use, let's just show you what cursive looks like. So I hit enter and I put a semicolon to end it. So what we have here is, this is called the selector, and the way I'm using a selector is I'm overwriting or I'm adding to the style of an existing HTML element. Then I have a style attribute and then an attribute value. So I have an attribute value pair, and I have a colon in between the attribute value pair and a semicolon to end it. So save that, refresh your page, and now notice it uses cursive font. Okay, please don't use that. Much better. Let's use simply Arial, or Verdana would be another sans serif font that works. Verdana, just so you can see what that looks like. I think I like that one a little bit better. If you're on, if the client is using a Microsoft or operating system, you could use Calibri. That's a decent font that Microsoft's adopted. I think that one looks fairly nice. However, if someone's on a Mac, they won't see this because Calibri is not a font that's installed on Macs. So there are various ways to to set up your pages so that a font is downloaded when they download your page, so it doesn't matter what they're using, they always see the right font. For now, let's do something else. Instead, what I want you to do is put a comma after Calibri, and then I'm going to put Arial. And what that'll do is it'll look for Calibri first, and it doesn't have. And if the client doesn't have that, it'll go switch to Arial font. If for some crazy, stupid reason they don't have Arial font, we're going to hit sans serif, which means any font they have that doesn't have little curlies on the end of it. So that's our font definition. See how it's changed everything on the page. Now let's be a bit more specific. Instead of adjusting the body, let's go down here and adjust, how about, let's adjust LIs. So everything down in here in our list is in an LI. Let's say we want that text to be a little bit bigger. So LI space, open close curly brace or curly brackets, font size, and just take a look at this. As soon as I hit font, you can see all the different style attributes you can edit that start with font. If I just hit tab in, you can see every single possible style attribute. Animations, backgrounds, borders, all kinds of things. It doesn't even go past B because there's so many. It wants us to start typing. So let's do font size. We can do this in pixels or in points. I prefer pixels, but it really doesn't matter at all. I'm going to put 12 px, again, colon to separate the attribute value pair, and then a semicolon. Refresh, and now it's made this text much smaller. I think that's a little too small. Let's go up to 13. Still a little small. Let's do 14. Also, I want to, I think I want to change the color of this information. So what I'm going to do is hit an enter after that semicolon. Color is the name of the attribute, and here it gives you a list of color names you can use. This is one way to pick a color. However, a better way to pick a color would be to find a website that helps you pick out color schemes. Color schemes for websites, that sounds good. Let's see if something actually comes up here. Okay, let's find something. 50 beautiful color palettes, trendy web color palettes. Let's just pick the first one on the list. See if we can find something. Okay, this looks interesting. I don't think that one's going to give me what I want. Let's go to this one. 50 beautiful color palettes. Okay. Alright, so these are colors that go together. So you can pick one of these to design your site in. I'm going to go with this one right here. So I click on this, and it's going to actually give me, here we go, a hexadecimal code for each one of these colors. So this one right here, the hexadecimal codes are always 6 characters ranging from A through F and numbers 0 through 9. I'm going to copy that number right there and come in here, and we always start with the # or hashtag, and then we paste in the code. So that means that my LIs are going to be this color right here. Let's save that. Go back to our web page, refresh. There we go. I made it a little bit bigger, and it's all brown. Cool. So I can list as many different attribute value pairs as I want to in a particular style definition. So it's the selector attribute value pair. Okay, let's do something else here. Let's teach you a few more things you can edit. Links. I hate seeing underlines under links. It's just a personal preference, that's all. So let's edit a tag. A, and let's change the text decoration to none. Save that. There we go. No more links underneath there. However, what I do like is when I hover over a link, I want the underline to show up and go away when I'm not hovering over it. So we have what's called states. A:hover says that this is a different style that we'll use whenever someone's hovering over any text that's wrapped in an A tag. So in this case, I'm going to say text decoration equals, underline. There we go. Save that. Refresh. Now, as I hover over them, they automatically underline. So let's edit one more thing now. Let's edit the image, the Homer image that we have over here. Oops, save my page, show this. I want to make one for image. All I want to do is edit the border. So for now, we're going to say border style equals, here's our options here, solid, border width, 1 pixel, border color, pink. There we go. Save, refresh our image. Here's our nice border around our image now. Okay, so far we've done one type of style creation. This is the type of style where we overwrite an existing HTML element, or not overwrite it, we add a style to it. We can also create our own styles. For example, let's say that I want Brigham Young University to be in italics. Who knows, for whatever crazy reason. So what should I do? I've got here's Brigham Young University. It's not really in any tag at all. However, I want that to be italicized. So here's what I'm going to do. Come down here below image, and we're going to create, a custom style with its own name. Whenever we make a custom style, it always begins with a dot. And I'm going to say dot italics. Open, close, double quote. We're going to say font style. I think it's style. We'll find out. Yep. Italic. And close that. Save it. Refresh our page, and absolutely nothing happens. That's because, unlike these tags, where this style gets automatically used anytime it finds an image tag, a custom tag isn't going to be automatically used anywhere. I have to insert it somewhere into my HTML code. So I come down here to Brigham University, and I use a tag called span. Span does absolutely nothing. By itself, that is. If I save this, refresh it, nothing happens to Brigham Young University. The whole purpose of span is to give us an opportunity to use a custom style. So kind of like image and a tags, we have to use an attribute to use this at all, and the attribute is called class. Class says, which of these custom styles that we've created up here do we want to use down here on Brigham Young University? Now this is going to trip some of you up. Pay close attention to this part. When I use italics, I copy just the word without the dot. I have to have the dot up here when I define the style so that it knows that it's not an HTML tag that I'm creating, that I'm overwriting. But down here when I call it, when I use it in the class attribute, I don't put the dot. So let me save that, refresh the page. Brigham Young University is now italicized. Now I can actually also use italics without using the span tag. This is pretty common. Let's say I want to bold something. I'm going to make one called dot bold. And I'll say font weight. These are my options. I've got different, it's in the hundreds. I can also just say bold or bolder, lighter, normal. I'm going to go with bold. And then let's pick one of my LI tags. Let's say I want to focus their attention on my skills. So I'm going to, here under LI, add a class attribute. Notice this is not in the span tag. I can just simply do it inside of an LI and use the style I've created called bold. And now everything inside that LI, including the sub-bullets, because they're also inside of it, are bolded. So custom styles, when we call them, there's no dot in the name, but when we create them up here, they've got a dot on them. We're starting to get a lot of styles. Okay, this could take up a lot of room on our page. Plus, let's say we now want to use some of these same styles on our about page. Okay, if I want to do that, I'm going to have to copy all of these styles from here and paste them in here to about in the head tag. Think for a second, what would be the potential problem of doing that? So the problem is, if I were to paste my styles here and then later decide, you know what, I don't like having a pink border around my images. Let's say I come here and about and I change it from pink to green, but then I forget to go change it in resume. Now I've got an inconsistent style applied from one page to another. it's pink over here, and on the other page it's green or whatever I changed it to. Well, it's not so bad when you only have 3 pages on your website, but more often than not, if you're a web developer, you're going to have hundreds of pages. So it's better to have all of your styles defined in one place and then have every page on your site refer to that same one place to get their styles from. That way, if you change your mind or want to add a style, I edit it in that single place and it cascades down into every other HTML page that links to those styles definitions. Well, we can do that. It's called a cascading style sheet. So what I want you to do, let's create, we'll put it right here. Right click here in this space and create a new file. Oh, and it put it in the wrong spot. Sorry, let's delete that. I guess we'll have to go over here and create it. So, actually no, go here to File, New, and let's hit Control S, and we're going to save it right here in the main website root, and we're going to call it Styles.css. Okay, so this is our first page that's not an HTML page, it's .css. What I want you to put in here is cut and paste all of the styles out of your resume.html page. Now notice I'm not including the opening style tag or the closing style tag. I'm just getting those style definitions, and I'm going to Control V to paste those. Now if I want to tab all these things back, just select everything and hit Shift Tab, and that'll pull those back. So in my styles page, all I want is a list of the styles, no HTML tags whatsoever. Okay, back here on resume, rather than have a style tag anymore, we need to create a link to that style sheet, and it'll automatically pull in all of those styles. We do that using the link element. So we use href to reference the style sheet, styles.css. Now remember, in resume, this is the page I'm on resume. How do I link from resume to styles.css? Notice that as soon as I started typing, or I hit that equals, it doesn't see styles.css. All it sees are the 2 files that are in this folder that I'm referencing from. Resume's in this folder, so it can only see about and itself. If I want it to see styles, what do I have to put first? So hopefully if you did the last chapter, you know it's .. Now notice it can see styles.css. Alright, there are 2 other attributes that are needed. Rel, and we're just going to put style sheet, and type is going to be just the only option it gives you there, text CSS. Close that up, save it. Now when we refresh this, it should still have all the same styles in it. There we go. Copy this, and now let's put this over in your About page. So go to About, and I'm going to click on About here, and notice there's no styles applied. Come right here, paste it, save, refresh About, and now it's pulled in all those styles we created. Image, text, font, H1, all that. Okay, one more file we need to do it on. Go here to index.html. Let's also paste it there. Go home. Oh, let me save this page first. Save, refresh home. Oh, here, what's my problem? Notice here on my home it's not importing and it's not using the body style of Calibri. Why is that? Well, let's look at the link. Here it's telling it to go out of folder to the parent folder and then look for styles.css. Well, index, the page I'm working on, it's already in the main website folder. It's in the parent folder. So if I say .. it's going to try to go and look not here, but out here on my desktop to find the style sheet, and that's not where it is. So take off the .. because index can see its sibling styles.css. Now I refresh it and there it is. My underline is working and all that. Okay. Next, I want to add a few more styles. So let's go to your style sheet. Let's also go back to resume, and I want to learn about what's called the box model. The box model is something that it's the first step to learning how to position elements in a page, not just vertically, but using up all the white space on a page. So the box model is a set of 3 attributes. I actually want to pull up a diagram for you here in the old version of this chapter, which is going to be revised by the time you see it. Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to go over here and go to Css Styling. Right here. So content refers to the text or image that you're styling. So on resume, let's start editing. We'll apply the box model right here to this image. So go here to your style sheet, and here for your image definition, I want you to add the attribute that you just saw on the screen, padding. Now notice, if I specify padding and give it a value, like 4px, that's going to apply 4 pixels of padding all around the image, or I can have different amounts of padding for each side. So try to remember, what's padding again? Well, it's going to be the space between the image and the border. So what you'll see is the borders stay in the same place. Actually, the border will kind of get a little bit bigger on these 3 sides because there's going to be added space between the border and the image. So see that border move out on all sides. We can make it even bigger just so you can see that effect one more time. There's the border, the padding. So border, as you've seen, is this pink one that's around here. We can change the border width to something thicker just so you can see what happens. Lastly, let's specify the margin. Let's make that 10px. I'll save that. And now what you're going to see is this image become 10 pixels lower from Brigham Young University, 10 pixels further in from the left, 10 pixels. This content will be pushed 10 pixels down, actually 20 pixels down, to count the 10 pixels on the bottom and the top. So refresh that, and you see everything space out. So we can use border, margin, and paddings to help us position elements around on a page. That's enough for now. Take a moment to practice some of these things that we've learned. If you want to know what a list of all the different things you can modify, all the different style elements and attributes you can modify, a great site to go to is W3 Schools. So probably the most popular one for just a straight reference of what all the different HTML tags and CSS tags are. And this finally pulls up. Here we go. We're going to go to Learn CSS. Let me expand this real quick so you can see everything. You can walk through here, CSS intro. Let's go to, here's an example of what it does. It teaches you the element, gives you all the options. You can see what all those options are. And that's about it. Okay, good luck practicing. Make sure you take a moment to make this website look as good as you possibly can. And in the next section, we'll learn how to move these elements around on a page.